Corn continued its pullback that started on Friday, and soybeans were lower too. Ag News' Michelle Rook is back to let us know if we could see a turnaround Tuesday in markets now.
Well, grains ending lower on Monday, but live cattle futures making some new contract highs. Mike Zuzolo is back with us. And Mike, let's talk about the grains first. We've been correcting or consolidating. What's causing that? South American weather, tariff fears. What is it?
Well, you're right. We looked vulnerable when we closed the door on Friday, Michelle, and in the charts, especially the weekly corn chart, is a big point of concern for me from overbought conditions, momentum indicators, fund length. Cattle and corn seem to be the preference by the funds at this point. And so we kind of came into Sunday, Monday, probably needing some fresh fundamental news to change that negative tone. We got the exact opposite. And I think the trade had to come to the realization that President Trump's trade policy and his tariff threats are not just real, but they're part of his foreign policy. And we got a dose of that. And it's a practice run, if you ask me, as we get ready for the 1st of February, when President Trump and his administration has talked about 25% tariffs on both Canada and Mexico. And I think that was the heart of why we saw the long liquidation.
So does that infer that we may have a top in corn and soybeans or not?
I'm worried that we do not have the fundamentals that we had a week ago or 2 weeks ago to support the market to go higher than we've been. And so just by default, that would be a very big concern of mine.
All-time highs on the live cattle futures on Monday on the heels of record cash. Can that market keep going higher?
I think we've got a lot more headwinds as we go into the month of February, and especially as we get January feeder cattle to go off the board. I'm not a big fan of the feeder seasonal here, whether it's the cash index or the March futures. I'm not a fan of the net record long funds length that we have in the feeders. And I do think that the weather in the Southern Plains has been a very big boon to the cash market, both fats and feeders. Looks a lot better the next 10 days as we start February. Very little precip and more moderating temperatures.
Something to keep an eye on. Thanks so much, Mike Zuzolo with Global Commodity Analytics. We'll have more Ag Day coming up.
Watch Markets Now with Michelle Rook on the Farm Journal YouTube channel, keeping you updated throughout the day on the markets at the open, midday, and close. Find out what moved the markets today and what to expect the market to do next.